Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 7, entitled Knowledge of the Absolute, text number 1. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Maya Sakta Manah Partha Yogam Injanmadashrayah Asamshayam Samagram Mam Yata Gnashasi Tatshruno. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Now hear, O son of Pratha, Arjuna, how by practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, with mind attached to me, you can know me in full, free from doubt. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. In this 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the nature of Krishna consciousness is fully described. Krishna is full in all opulences, and how he manifests such opulences is described herein. Also, 4 kinds of fortunate people who become attached to Krishna and 4 kinds of unfortunate people who never take to Krishna are described in this chapter. In the first 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, the living entity has been described as non-material spirit soul, which is capable of elevating himself to self-realization by different types of yogas. At the end of the 6th chapter, it has been clearly stated that the steady concentration of the mind upon Krishna, or in other words, Krishna consciousness, is the highest form of all yoga. By concentrating one's mind upon Krishna, one is able to know the absolute truth completely, but not otherwise. Impersonal Brahmajyoti or localized Paramatma realization is not perfect knowledge of the absolute truth because it is partial. Full and scientific knowledge is Krishna, and everything is revealed to the person in Krishna consciousness. In complete Krishna consciousness, one knows that Krishna is ultimate knowledge beyond any doubts. Different types of yoga are only stepping stones on the path of Krishna consciousness. One who takes directly to Krishna consciousness automatically knows about Brahmajyoti and Paramatma in full. By practicing of Krishna consciousness yoga, one can know everything in full, namely the absolute truth, the living entities, the material nature and their manifestations with paraphernalia. One should therefore begin yoga practice as described in the last verse of the 6th chapter. Concentration of the mind upon Krishna, the Supreme, is made possible by prescribed devotional service in 9 different forms, of which Shravanam is the first and most important. The Lord therefore says to Arjuna, Tat Shrunu, or hear from me. No one can be a greater authority than Krishna, and therefore, by hearing from him, one receives the greatest opportunity for progress in Krishna consciousness. One has therefore to learn from Krishna directly, or from a pure devotee of Krishna, and not from a non-devotee upstart puffed up with academic education. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, this process of understanding Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Absolute Truth, is described in the 2nd chapter of the 1st canto as follows. Shunvatam sakata Krishna punya shravana kirtanaha hridiyantasto yabhadrani vidunoti surutsatam nasta prayeshva bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavatyuttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki tata rajastamo bhava kamalobhadayaschaye chedayedairana viddham sitam sattve prasidate evam prasanna manaso bhagavad bhakti yogataha bhagavad tattva vignanam mukta sanghasya jayate vidyate hridaya grantis chidyante sarva samshayaha krishyante jasya karmani drishta evatmanishvare. To hear about Krishna from Vedic literatures or to hear from him directly through the Bhagavad Gita is itself righteous activity. And for one who hears about Krishna, Lord Krishna, who is dwelling in everyone's heart, acts as a best wishing friend and purifies the devotee who constantly engages in hearing of him. In this way, a devotee naturally develops his dormant transcendental knowledge as he hears more about Krishna from the Bhagavatam and from the devotees. he becomes fixed in the devotional service of the Lord. By development of devotional service, one becomes freed from the modes of passion and ignorance, and thus material lusts and avarice are diminished. When these impurities are wiped away, the candidate remains steady in his position of pure goodness and becomes enlivened by devotional service and understands the science of God perfectly. Thus, Bhakti Yoga severs the hard knot of material affection and enables one to come at once to the stage of Asamshayam Samagram, understanding of the Supreme Absolute Truth Personality of Godhead. Bhagavad Gita 1.2.17 to 21. Therefore, only by hearing from Krishna or from his devotee in Krishna consciousness can one understand the science of Krishna. This is the Bhaktivedanta purport.
You give it up. Sarva dharman parittaj. Mam ekam. Only one. God is one. Religion is one. The process of religion is one. And the activity who is in God relationship, his activity is also one. That is oneness. There cannot be any different activities. Therefore Krishna is teaching Maya Saktamana. So, how to increase your attachment? We have got attachment in so many other things. We have got attachment for the body, we have got attachment for the family, we have got attachment for the society, country, or so many things. But Krishna says, Maya Saktamana, that is yoga, that is perfect yoga. And to perform that yoga, Krishna says, Maya Saktamana Pratha Yogang Junyan Modasraya. One has to take shelter of Krishna. You cannot practice Krishna yoga by taking shelter of anything else. You have to take shelter of Krishna. Just like in the 4th chapter, Krishna says that Imang vivassati yogam pratyavan ahamabhyam vivashan manavipraha manu ikhagavi bravit emang parampara praptam imang rajarsayo vidu. So the beginning is Krishna. So Krishna first of all explained this Bhagavad Gita to the sun god. Imang vivassati yogam pratyaman aham abhyam. So their beginning is from Krishna, and it was spoken first to the sun god. The sun god explained to his son, Manu, vivassati Manu. This age is Vaivassato Manu age. There are so many things we have to learn, but we are neglecting. In one day of Brahma, there are 14 Manus, and each Manu's age is 43 lakhs of years multiplied by 72. So, now it is the age of Vaivassato Manu. This is the, out of the 14th Manu, this is the 7th Manu, it is going on. So, this age is called Manu. Manu, the father of the humankind. Manusya. There is Manu Sanghita to give direction to the people, how to act, how to live. That is Manu Sanghita. So, in this way, we have to learn the philosophy of Krishna, which is directly spoken by Krishna, not interpreted by anyone. That is Krishna philosophy. If it is interpreted or misinterpreted by some so-called scholar, we cannot accept them scholar who misdirect people by misinterpretation of Bhagavad Gita. That is not very good. Otherwise, why people are so much misdirected? Because the so-called scholars and philosophers, they are misdirected. They have tried to kill Krishna from Bhagavad Gita and push forward their own rascal philosophy. So that is not good. We have to learn Bhagavad Gita directly from Krishna. That is Maya Shakti. That is real Bhagavad, because Krishna says, Evam parampara praptam imam rajasya vidu. By the parampara system, all the great kings, rajasya, they understood Bhagavad Gita. So we have to accept the Bhagavad Gita by the parampara system. Not we manufacture our own interpretation. That is not Bhagavad Gita. That is misusing the Bhagavad Gita. So, if we want to increase our attachment for Krishna, then the Shraddha is the basic principle, faith. Yes, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even if we don't accept Him, at least everyone accepts Krishna, the greatest personality. So, that much faith is the beginning of Ashakti, attachment for Krishna. That little faith. Salpam api yasya dharmasya trayate mahato vaya. Now, you have to increase that faith. That increased faith means, as it is enunciated by Rupa Goswami, Adau Shraddha. If you have got little faith, to increase the faith, just yourself associate with the devotees. Adau Shraddha tato sadhu sangha. Because just like if you want to do some business, if you want to increase the volume of business, you have to associate with businessmen of the same line. Just like there are different mercantile association, share brokers association, grain merchant association, oil seed merchant association. So to increase the volume of business, one has to associate with the similar persons. So if you want to increase your faith in Krishna, then you have to associate with Krishna bhaktas. Associate. Ado sadhya tato sadhu sam. This sadhu means Krishna bhakta. Without becoming Krishna bhakta, according to Bhagavad Gita, nobody can become a sadhu. That is also explained in the Bhagavad Gita. Sadhu reva samantabhya. Who? Bhajate mam ananya bhak. Opite sudurachara. Bhajate mam ananya bhak. Sadhu reva samantabhya. He is sadhu. Not that sadhu simply like me, change the dress or having a long beard and... No. The sadhu means one is purely devotee of the Lord. He is sadhu. Bhajate mam ananya, without any deviation. One who has taken Krishna, the Supreme Lord, as the only worshipable, he is sadhu. Sadhava sadhu bhusana, titikshava karunika, sadhava sadhu bhusana, ajata satrava shanta, sadhava sadhu bhusana. These are the definition of sadhu. Sadhu means titikshava, one who has taken Krishna as the Supreme Lord, Krishna as the Supreme Person. He has to tolerate so many things, so many criticisms, so many tribulations, just like Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj had to undergo so much tribulation from the hands of his father because he became a sadhu, Krishna Bhakta. The only fault was that he was a Krishna Bhakta. Even the father, the atheistic father, became enemy. He wanted to kill him. You know Prahlad Charitra. If there is opportunity, he shall speak. It is horrible. 5 years old boy, because he was chanting Hare Krishna, Narayana, the father became enemy. Titikshava. Therefore, a sadhu has to become very tolerant. Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur became a sadhu, a devotee of Krishna. He came from Mohammedan community. In those days, the Mohammedan Qazi, magistrate called him that you are Mohammedan and why you are chanting Hare Krishna, the Hindus' God's name. So he very mildly replied, my dear sir, there are many Hindus, they have also become Mohammedans. So suppose I have become a Hindu, so what is the fault? He became very angry and he was ordered to be caned in 7 markets, you see. So there are so many dangers. Although the time is not so much polluted, people are liberal. Just like I am preaching in the Western countries. So nobody has checked. The government has not checked because the time is not so cruel. Although in that Western country, Lord Jesus Christ was crucified. So there is sometimes danger to become Krishna Bhakta. Therefore people avoid it. At least the criticism is there. Therefore Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that Tinadupi Sunichena Taroropi Sahisnuna Omanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. One has to become tolerant like the grass. Tinadupi Sunichena. Sunichena, that's like we are trampling over the grasses. So many people are going on. No protest. Trees. We are cutting trees, we are taking their leaves, their fruits. We are taking shelter of the trees when there is sunrise, is very scorching, and still we are cutting. Tolerant. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given these 2 instances. Taroropi sahisnuna, tinadupi sunichena, and amanina manudena, for oneself, for personal self, don't claim any respect, but you give respect to all others. Amanina manadena, kirtaniya sadari. If you can situate yourself in this position, then you can chant Hare Krishna mantra very peacefully. It will not be disturbed. If you begin chanting Hare Krishna mantra, then your friends will criticize. It is very easy job. But for the fear of criticism for my friends, I do not like to chant. I do not like to take the beads. I can carry a what is called? The transistor throughout the whole road. But if I carry one bead, I will be criticized. So one has to be tolerant. Now these European American boys, they don't care for any criticism. They have given their so-called hats and coats and they are chanting, they are going on the street chanting Hare Krishna mantra. Not only here, in European, big cities, New York, London, Hamburg, Berlin, everywhere. So they don't care for this so-called criticism. They are fixed up. And people are accepting. So this is called increasing the Shraddha, faith. Ados Shraddha, to increase your attachment for Krishna, the basic principle is Shraddha, faith. Then the faith is created by reading Bhagavad Gita. You can understand what is Krishna. Then you can have your faith, here is God. That much. And sarva dharman parittajya mam ekang saranam. This is the beginning of faith. Then now I must engage myself in the devotional service of Krishna. If you decide like that, then your reading of Bhagavad Gita, you have simply wasted your time. You may write very so-called scholarly comments, but you have simply wasted your time. If you have not come to the conclusion that now I shall engage myself in the service of Krishna, sarva dharman parittajya mam ekang saranam vraja. If you do that, that is the beginning of Shraddha. Then other things. Maya sakta mana prartha yugam junjan madasaya. This has been explained by Kaviraj Krishnadas Goswami. Shraddha sabde বিশ্বাস সুদৃঢ় নিশ্চয় কৃষ্ণে ভক্তি কইলে সর্বকর্ম কৃত হয়. This is Shraddha. Shraddha means, Shraddha sabde, what means, Shraddha sabde, Vishwa, full faith, sudhira, very firm, nishcha, with conviction. That is Shraddha. Shraddha sabde, Vishwas, sudhira, nishcha. What is that Vishwas? What is that faith? Krishna bhakti kaile sarva karma kita hai. If I devote myself in Krishna consciousness, in the service of Krishna, all my work will be perfect. This is called Shraddha. If you have got hesitation that some percentage to Krishna, some percentage to my family, some percentage to my country, some percentage to my dog, some percentage in this, no. Simply, sarva dharman parityajya mamekam saralang braja. That faith, if you can raise yourself to that platform of faith, that is the beginning of faith. Krishna bhakti kaile sarva karma krita. Krishna is supreme. So, by serving the supreme, you can serve everyone. Jatha taronmula nisechanena tripanti statkanda bhujopasakha pranopaharat jatha indriyana tatha sarvahanam achyutaijya. This is called Jatha taronmula nisechanena. If you pour water on the root of the tree, the water reaches to the branches, to the twigs, to the leaves, to the flowers, to the fruits, automatically. You simply pour water on the root. That is the system. If you pour water on the every leaf, I think you will have no time. There are millions of leaves. How you can? No. Take the root and pour water and it will reach. That is the way. Similarly, if you love your society, your friends, your country, your family, yourself, your dog, everything, if you love Krishna, all love will be distributed. But if you don't love Krishna, if you simply love this, simply love that, simply that, it will never be perfect. Therefore, the whole world is confused. They do not know what to repose the love. They do not know. Therefore, Krishna is canvassing. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam. Come here. Love me. Increase your attachment for me. Everything will be all right. Otherwise, it is simply vague. Sramaye vahi kevalam. Simply waste of time. Dharma sanusthita pungsang vishakshena kathasuja notpadayedarating jadi sramaye vahi kevalam. It is simply waste of time. The whole world is trying to formulate the United Nations, how to love the nations one another. But there is no Krishna. Therefore, 20 years they are trying to unite the nations, but they are simply becoming disunited. They are missing the point. They do not know how to unite. If you want to unite the whole human society into one, take to this Krishna consciousness. You will be united politically, socially, religiously, culturally, philosophically, in any way. Because Krishna is everything. Aham sarvasya prabhava. Krishna is the root. Sarva karana karam. Ishara parama Krishna, Sachidananda vigraha. Anadi Radhi Govinda. Sarva karana karam. So take the root and your business will be successful. That is the effect of studying Bhagavad Gita. Krishna bhakti kaile sarva karma krita hai. Simply by engaging yourself in the devotional service of Krishna, all our other activities will be perfectly done. This is the secret of success, Krishna consciousness. Try to understand this. Saddha sabde vishwa sudhira nishcha Krishna bhakti koile sarva karma kritaha. This is the whole philosophy. And practical example, just like if you pour water on the root of the tree, then the water, however, that water may be small, but because it is supplied. There are many examples. Just like if you pay your taxes to the government, it is distributed throughout the whole state, to the education department, to the water department, this department, that department. You are utilizing so many things, but you put your tax in one place to the government, it is distributed. So therefore, the Yajna system is recommended in the Vedic way of culture to satisfy the Supreme. Vishnu aradhate nanna tattva sotanam. Varnasama acharavata purushena parapuman Vishnu aradhate pungsa nanna tattva karanam. Yajna means to satisfy the Supreme Personality of God. To satisfy. But we do not know. Our culture is into, we do not know what is Supreme Personality of God. We do not know what is God. Everything forgot. If there is, we speak about God, they think that these people have become crazy. That in this modern civilization, he's talking of God. What is the nonsense? This is the position. But that is not the fact. God is there. God is there. God is personally canvassing here, Krishna. How you can say God is not there? God is there. God must be there. Otherwise, how things are going on? Just like because you are within this body, although you cannot see yourself, we cannot see ourselves, where I am in this body, but I am in this body. As soon as I go away from this body is useless. Not even worth farthing. This such nice brain, such nice dress, such nice activity, as soon as I go away, I leave this body. Tatha dehantaram prati. As I leave this body and accept another body, this body is useless. Immediately. Similarly, you are seeing the whole cosmic manifestation, the gigantic body of this material world. So there is something soul. Just like in this body there is soul. Similarly, this gigantic body has got a soul, that is God. How you can deny it? In Shastra we say, Ekapasau rachayatam jagadanda koti jachaktirasti jagadanda chaya jadantam annantarastham paramanu chayantarastham govindamadi purusham tamang majami. Ekapasu rachayatam. Just like this body has developed. How it has developed? Because the spirit soul is there. The spirit soul is injected by the semina of the father, and it is put within the womb of the mother. And then the two secretion develops into a small body like a pea, and that develops gradually. When the development is complete, on the 7th month, the child moves. His sense consciousness comes. He is in the dreaming condition there. In the beginning, he is unconscious, susupti. Then dreaming condition. He returns to his consciousness, and then he wants to come out. And then in due course of time, at the end of 10 months, the child comes out. This is the process of bodily construction, material bodily construction. Karmana daiva netrena jantar deho upapatti. This is the beginning of body. So, a dead child coming out does not grow because the soul is not there. So unless the soul is there, There are so many instances. A very nice big machine, aeroplane, 747. But if there is no pilot, who will drive it? The machine is worthless unless there is the pilot. Similarly, this is also machine, this body. Jantra rudhani maya.